Well, there has been a move of late to examine exactly what is in what we eat and get major corporations to eliminate some of the chemicals commonly used to make many of the most popular processed and, quite frankly, delicious foods. The latest announcement comes from Dunkin Donuts, the giant donut chain, which says it will eliminate something called titanium dioxide, which is used in its donuts and in other unrelated applications as a whitener agent and in paints and plastics. It's shocking, it really is. Joining us in studio for this segment, our fitness coach and lifestyle enthusiast, Nadia Murdock. Not only is she the author of You Can Have It All, but she is also has a mind and body makeover program. Also, certified health coach Claudia Petrilli, and via Skype, the owner of Hot Cakes Bakes and the winner of Cupcake Wars, Elfie Weiss. I love the cupcakes. I don't know what's in them, but I do love them, so thank you for joining all of it. Let's talk about this. I think I told you in the green room a little while ago that my niece gave me a book by the Food Babe, and every night when I read it, I am just appalled at what is in the food we eat. It is shocking, isn't it?
It's very shocking, and it's important for consumers to know what they're eating, because so many of us have been in the dark thinking that the government agencies are taking care of us and letting us shop safely, but that's not the case.
Well, I was shocked to learn that the FDA leaves it up to the companies.
Exactly.
To monitor themselves and to decide what chemicals they want to put in the foods, and they just give them the okay, the thumbs up, and they don't really test anything. I thought the FDA was there to test stuff, but that's not the case, is it, Claudia?
Apparently not. I mean, it comes down to mass production and, you know, making things quickly, and it's you know, quantity is better than quality, apparently, and it's unfortunate because we are being fooled, and you know, something like this comes out and people are starting to wonder, well, what else is in there?
Well, also, how many of us have the time when we're shopping, when we're busy, and we'll go to Elfie on Skype right now, to actually look at the back of the product, find all the chemicals, know what the chemicals are. You make cupcakes, you probably make them delicious and fresh, please send some over, but people generally don't look at the back of a Hostess Twinkie and say, what's in it?
No, they don't. No, definitely. And there's a very drastic difference between a Twinkie and a hotcakes cupcake. I mean, I'm really an advocate of trying to bake the way we bake in France, which is with a lot more natural ingredients and not as chemical. You know, America is known for that chemical engineered food. You know, it's the big problem with obesity and all of that. It comes from that, all the hidden sugars and the corn syrup and all these things that we don't use in France. At least, you know, now, I mean, now it started to be like that in France a little bit, you know, because all the invasion of all the fast foods, you know, the McDonald's and all of that, you know. But when I was a kid, there was none of that, you know. We never drank Coke, we never did all that. So with my business, I really focus on baking and making things the way we make it in France, which is with natural ingredients and real ingredients, egg, sugar, you know, butter, not margarine, you know, just all of that. And it makes a really big difference.
And Nadia, one of the things I found out in the book as well is that a lot of chemicals we use in our products here are banned in Europe, in the European Union. And you got to wonder why they aren't here, but is it theoretically possible to be overweight and also malnourished at the same time?
Very much so, because you're eating, you're filling up, but you're filling up on the wrong things. So the markets, they cater to what our taste buds want, which is sugar, fat, and salt. And you're pounding that on your diet, and you wonder why you're eating all this fat-free stuff and you're drinking diet soda and you're not losing the weight, because you're drinking and eating the wrong things. It's not
now, Claudia, what do you take from Dunkin Donuts saying, and before that, Subway saying, okay, we have a bad chemical in here, we got caught, in Subway's case at least, somebody did some research on it. What do you take that some of these major corporations are now saying, okay, we'll replace it with something else and make it healthier? If they take one chemical out, are they really making it healthier?
No, and I was saying to Nadia earlier, you know, I wanted to see what else Dunkin Donuts is using in their products, and it's maddening.
What are they using? What should we be afraid about? Not just Dunkin Donuts, but in general.
Where do I begin? There's lists of hydrogenated oils and every type of sugar you could imagine, whether it's white sugar or dextrose or maltodextrin. You know, that ingredient that was in Subway breads.
Which they use in floor mats,
Yeah, they're
yoga
also
mats.
using that in
I
some of their
always wondered
products.
why it was so fluffy. I used to eat it and think, why is the texture is superb? And I was essentially, like so many millions of people, eating yoga mat.
Yeah, it's also
material.
in store-bought bread. If you look, AZO is in a lot of store-bought bread.
What's it called?
AZO is the abbreviation, but you can go ahead and take it.
Elfie, let me use an American word if I can here. A lot of people have a hankering for something and they really, really want it. Is that the same case in France because they use good ingredients, for lack of a better description, and we use all this processed stuff? Do you have hankering for something?
You know, I mean, people do have, you know, cravings, but you know, the things that I've noticed really with my business is, you know, because we bake with so much less sugar, a lot of people sometimes almost complain that it's not sweet enough, and that is because their palate, you know, growing up on drinking Coca-Cola or eating, you know, ketchup all the time with all their food, you know, their palate is so underdeveloped, you know, that the need for something very sweet or the need for something that has a lot of flavor is always what people say. They always go, oh, but it's not sweet, you know. And I say, yes, and that it's not supposed to be. You know, you shouldn't feel like your teeth are going to melt when you bite into something like you do on a Twinkie or on a donut, you know.
Well, I think we know that the major corporations put addictive chemicals, legally addictive chemicals in their stuff. And they would argue, and they have, well, you know, we're trying to sell a product here. And if we get people really liking it, you know, why should we be shamed for that? This is our business. We're here to sell stuff. So where do you fall on that end of it? Yes, there are chemicals in there that we absolutely crave, but also the companies say we're selling stuff, and our job is to sell stuff and make money for our shareholders.
I think it's the consumer's responsibility to start self-educating themselves. And once they start doing that, that's why the organic industry has boomed so dramatically, because people are starting to be aware. It's being available in Walmart, Duane Reade, Target. These are places where you wouldn't normally see organic goods, but people are starting to demand because they know what they're starting to investigate.
But organic is a gray word, wouldn't we agree? Anything could be really organic, but they're still using chemicals in some cases and so on. So what really do we know? Why should we be comfortable in organic when it could be as bad as the regular? You should
really be reading everything, you know, especially the ingredients. They're
well,
there
how do you
for a
read something
reason.
on the side of an orange?
Well, that's my next point. Those things don't have all those added ingredients, hopefully. You know, I try to teach people to just...
I'm sorry, Elfie?
And I don't believe everything can be truly organic. I think, unfortunately, you know, there's many things that come into the recipe that are not organic or difficult to find organic. So to find a product that's going to be truly organic is virtually impossible. You know, it's the same problem also with the gluten and gluten-free being such a trend now in America. And the reason for that is because, you know, the variety of wheat that America uses to make flour is such stronger. It's so much, it's a plant that is so much more potent than the plants that we have in France. And I'm starting to venture into bread now and opening a bread part. Hotcake is going to be called bitchin' bread. And I'm actually working with mills in France, very small organic mills, and importing the flour for that reason, so we can make a bread that is not so saturated with gluten that it actually makes you sick.
All right,
you know?
Claudia, we got to give you the last word, and we thank you very much for joining us today, as well as Nadia and also Ms. Petrilli. We appreciate your time. I guess the word out of this is really read.
Yeah.
As I started doing with my niece's book to find out what the heck is in our food.
And buy locally.
Yeah.
That helps.
And we thank you very much. After the break, the ever popular Fresh Outlook Lightning Round, where we touch on all the issues that raised eyebrows this week. We'll be right back.